Welcome to our College Briefing program, where we keep you in the loop with the latest and greatest from the world of academia and beyond. Let's dive into today's roundup with some stories that are sure to catch your interest. First up, it's that time of the year again, March Madness. And guess what? More folks than ever can legally place their bets on the NCAA basketball tournaments. Over in North Carolina, fans are buzzing as they can legally wager on the games for the first time ever. With 38 states and the District of Columbia now allowing some form of sports betting, it's a whole new ballgame compared to 2018 when Nevada was the lone state where betting on college basketball tournaments was legal. The stakes are high, with an estimated $2.7 billion expected to be bet on this year's tournaments through legal sportsbooks. Talk about a game changer. In other news, the ACC is facing a bit of an identity crisis as it navigates through the evolving landscape of college sports. With the Pac-12 on the brink and the Big Ten and SEC expanding, the ACC is pondering its future while trying to hold on to its rich history of rivalries. But it's not all smooth sailing, as legal battles loom with Florida State University over future TV rights and exit fees. Amidst these challenges, the ACC is determined to protect its traditions and rivalries that have shaped the conference for over 71 years. Lastly, let's take a quick trip around the globe and back to the classroom. Japan is opening up its government scholarships to more foreign students, including those living in Japan on a dependent visa. This move aims to provide greater academic opportunities to the children of the country's growing number of foreign workers. It's a step towards inclusivity and recognizing the diverse fabric of modern society. That's a wrap for today's briefing. From the courts to the classrooms, there's never a dull moment. Stay tuned for more details on these stories and everything else making headlines in the world of colleges and universities. Please continue to watch for detailed coverage. It's March Madness and more people than ever can legally bet on basketball games. Associated Press. People in North Carolina will be able to bet legally on the NCAA men's and women's basketball tournaments for the first time. A total of 38 states and the District of Columbia now allow some form of sports betting, including 30 states and the nation's capital that allow online wagering. In 2018, only Nevada allowed legal betting on college basketball tournaments. The rules for sports betting vary by state. Some states prohibit bets on home state college teams or the performance of specific players. Others allow bets not only on the outcome of any college games but also on a variety of other things, such as the number of points, rebounds and assists that a particular player will tally. The total amount bet on all sports through legal wagering sites exceeded $121 billion in 2023, up 30% from the previous year. The American Gaming Association estimates that $2.7 billion will be bet this year on the NCAA men's and women's basketball tournaments through legal sports books. The ACC can't forget its past. What's at stake is its future. Washington Post. The ACC men's basketball tournament final was a thrilling match between the University of North Carolina, UNC, and North Carolina State University, NC State. Though the latter won, the match showcased the long-standing rivalry between the two schools. Both are founding members of the 71-year-old conference. However, as the Pac-12 conference collapses and the Big Ten and SEC conferences expand, the ACC is now considering a new era of college sports. ACC Commissioner Jim Phillips claimed that rivalries should be protected as the conference expands. Traditions form around these rivalries, affecting the colors people wear, the songs they sing, and the memories they cherish. The ACC is currently facing legal troubles with Florida State University, FSU, as the latter sues the conference for $572 million in penalties, citing future television rights the ACC owns as well as an exit fee. The ACC countersued, arguing that FSU agreed to the terms. The ACC is concerned that these issues will affect FSU athletes, who should not be impacted by the litigation between adults. More foreign students set to be eligible for Japan government scholarships. Japan Times. The Japanese government plans to expand its scholarships for foreign university students to include those who are residing in Japan with their parents on a dependent visa. Currently, the scholarships are only available to Japanese citizens and foreign nationals with specific types of visas. The expansion aims to provide more academic opportunities to the children of the country's growing number of foreign workers. Riley Strain's parents hopeful they will find son who stands out in a crowd. Yahoo! The mother and stepfather of a 22-year-old college student who went missing in Nashville, Tennessee have thanked people for their support, but have said they will continue to search for their son, Riley Strain. Strain, a student at the University of Missouri, was visiting the city on a trip with his fraternity, Delta Chi, for spring formal. He was last seen on March 8 leaving a bar owned by country singer Luke Bryan. Police said there was no sign of foul play and that the case was still a missing person investigation. Oregon beats Colorado 75-68 for final Pac-12 tournament title and NCAA tournament berth. Associated Press. Oregon defeated Colorado 75-68 in the conference tournament title game to secure an automatic bid to the NCAA tournament. The Ducks, who weren't projected to receive an at-large invitation, extended their postseason by winning the conference tournament. N'Faly Dante, who played with a bruised tailbone, made all 12 of his shots and scored 25 points to lead Oregon. The victory marked Oregon's sixth Pac-12 tournament championship and first since 2019. Third-seeded Colorado is expected to receive an at-large bid despite the loss. Economics is in disarray, having placed efficiency before ethics and human well-being, says Nobel laureate. ABC. Angus Deaton, the British-American economist and Nobel laureate, has criticized mainstream economics for ignoring power dynamics and neglecting questions of equity. In an article for the International Monetary Fund, Deaton argues that the economics profession has become detached from its purpose of studying human welfare. He suggests that the profession needs to focus on predistribution mechanisms, such as promoting unions, place-based policies, immigration control, job preservation, and industrial policy, to prevent economic distress. Deaton also criticizes the profession's emphasis on efficiency, arguing that when efficiency is prioritized over equity, economic recommendations become little more than a license for plunder. Deaton's comments come after the publication of his recent book, Deaths of Despair and the Future of Capitalism, which examines the decline in well-being among American blue-collar workers. The IMF has asked 6 economists, including Deaton, to contribute to its magazine on the theme of how economics needs to change. Fast evacuation saved many lives as New Year's tsunami struck Japan. Nikkei Asia. An analysis of smartphone data has shown that smartphone users in Japan began evacuating the area after a 7.6 magnitude earthquake struck 6 to 7 minutes after the quake, well before an official tsunami warning was issued. 13 years after a major earthquake and tsunami, which killed over 22,000 people, many Japanese have learned lessons from 2011 and have begun evacuations sooner than in 2011, to the point where 50% of affected people had fled within 6 minutes of the quake. 300 complaints on first day, disputed flood report may cost community millions. The Sydney Morning Herald. A draft study by Sutherland Shire Council in Australia, which suggested that 15,600 properties in the region were at risk of flooding, has resulted in increased insurance premiums and a drop in property values. The council failed to undertake sufficient community engagement before publishing the study, according to documents released under Freedom of Information legislation. Insurance premiums rose by more than 200% in some cases, even for properties that had not previously been flooded. The council has removed flood notations from residents' planning certificates and is revising the study's parameters. Confidence in U.S. institutions at an all-time low, but one standout may surprise you. Yahoo! Utah residents have more faith in small businesses than any other institution, according to a survey by the Deseret News and the University of Utah's Hinckley Institute of Politics. The survey, which asked residents to categorize institutions as better or worse for the state, found that just over 70% of respondents felt small businesses were better off, compared to the next highest rating of 53.3% for local government. The state's high approval ratings for small businesses reflect the fact that the majority of Utah's population live in communities where residents know small business owners personally. Over 99% of Utah's businesses are small businesses, according to the U.S. Small Business Administration, and they make up more than 45% of the state's employees. National confidence in big business was just 14% in 2023, according to a Gallup poll. Fly halves shine in Super Rugby, chasing All Blacks, Wallaby spots. Associated Press. Damian McKenzie's performance for the Chiefs against the Fijian Drua has highlighted the quality of fly halves in Super Rugby Pacific this season. McKenzie had a hand in several tries, kicked accurately from the tee, and made important tackles in cover defense. The article notes that McKenzie is seen as the heir apparent to the All Blacks number 10 jersey and is aiming to fill the vacancy left by Richie Mo'unga. Other standout fly halves mentioned in the article include Isaiah Rivoli Armstrong, Brett Cameron, Stephen Pirofetta, Willie Havilai, Reese Pachel, and Riley Hohipa. Utah Energy, what's here and what's coming for consumers? Yahoo! Utah's energy sector is predicted to see growth in its coal and crude oil production, but also a shift towards carbon-neutral energy sources in the coming years, according to a report by the Chem C. Gardner Policy Institute at the University of Utah. The state's coal production is expected to rise slightly in 2024, with increased demand from an overseas market. Meanwhile, crude oil production increased by 22% last year, the highest level on record. The report also highlights the growth of solar energy in Utah, which now accounts for 12% of the state's overall electricity generation. U Sports men's hockey final gives New Brunswick Reds a chance at a perfect season. The Globe and Mail. The top-seeded New Brunswick Reds defeated the Toronto Metropolitan University Bulls 7-0 in the semi-finals of the Canadian University Men's Hockey Championship. Colton Cameron scored a goal and 2 assists to help lead the Reds to victory. They will face the Université du Québec à Trois-Rivières Patriots in the final. The Patriots defeated the McGill Redbirds 5-4 in their semi-final match. New Brunswick is looking to cap off an undefeated season by winning the U Sports crown. They have not lost a game this year, including exhibition contests, and have not allowed a goal in the national championship tournament. New York City FC ends Toronto FC's early unbeaten streak with 2-1 win. The Globe and Mail. New York City FC defeated Toronto FC 2-1 on Saturday, ending TFC's unbeaten run to start the season at 3 games. Kevin O'Toole's first MLS goal lifted NYCFC ahead in the 65th minute off a wonderful cross from Julian Fernandez, with the Toronto defense slow to respond. Joaquil Marshall-Ruddy scored for Toronto, which got another fine performance from stand-in goalkeeper Luca Gavrin but managed few chances on the New York goal. Sandy Rodriguez also scored for NYCFC, which had midfielder Keaton Parks sent off in the 68th minute for a nasty challenge on substitute Kobe Franklin that earned a straight red after video review. Student arrested after female U of T students report being recorded in residence showers. The Toronto Star. A 19-year-old international student has been arrested after police say a cell phone was held over shower curtains in an all-female student residence washroom at the University of Toronto. Comments. The Toronto Star. A 19-year-old international student has been arrested at the University of Toronto for holding a mobile phone over shower curtains in an all-female student residence washroom. The suspect had reportedly been capturing images of female students and then fleeing the scene. Shunasuk Kashikawa has been charged with voyeurism and mischief, and more victims are expected to come forward. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.